Welcome to the Recruitment Founders Podcast, the place to kickstart your journey to running a successful recruitment business. In each episode, you'll get knowledge, tips, and real-life stories to help you take your business from startup to whatever you want it to be. At Recruitment Founders Club, we'll show you how to follow a proven path to success, tap into a network of top-notch mentors, and join a community that thrives on collaboration and shared wins. You run the business, and we make sure you succeed.
Hey, Greg.
Hello, mate.
Another episode?
Yeah. Episode 3 in this jacket.
Oh, okay, we're going now, are we? Yeah. So, as usual...
Episode 1 in that T-shirt.
As usual, I'm the only one of us that brings a change of clothes. Yeah. We agreed this, by the way.
So
you're letting the pod down. Anyway, let's not dwell on that.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the episode.
Sorry, it's supposed to be a new day, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Every pod's a new day.
Every pod's a new day. I mean, you could have just taken your jacket off and then it would have looked like you had a different...
I'm pretty chilly, to be honest. Yeah, it's not got a door.
Everyone's going to know we're filming 3 pods in one day.
Yeah. There we go.
No one cares.
No, I don't. So, the episode...
Yeah, I've forgotten what it is now.
It's
client retention strategies.
Yeah, it's client retention strategies that actually work. So, looking at how you retain clients, how you develop long-term relationships with clients that are measurable financially, but also add value. Rather than just being a transactional spot business recruiter, which...
Yeah, and one thing will come on which I think will be valuable to anybody that's never gone past that spot business and developed a relationship. It's what do you talk to your clients about when they haven't got a job? We were just talking about it off camera, weren't we? So let's get into it. Let's make an assumption that this episode is going to focus on a client that you've done a deal with.
Yeah.
Okay? Because every recruiter on the planet, well, most recruiters on the planet, through their training, would have been trained on how to get from identifying a lead to closing a deal.
Yeah.
Right. And I remember S3, we were trained very well to do that. And it was a badge of honour. There was a lot of pride there.
Yeah.
Because we all knew, in that school of Birmingham, under those leaders and within that sort of environment, we knew that if we were up against other recruiters on we'd call it a C job, wouldn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, where you had the job, but so did 3 or 4 other recruiters. You would back yourself any day of the week to get to that deal before the other recruiters.
Correct.
That was our strength, wasn't
it?
Correct, yeah. But then it was like, okay, we've done that deal, great, high fives all around, 35%, chuckle Canadian.
Great deal, where's your deals?
Where's your next deal? And because there wasn't an obvious deal within that client that you've just done a deal with, you're off to the next one, aren't you? Spot business, spot business. And I think that would probably talk to a lot of recruiters, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would, and
because of the environment that they're in, right? Sales driven,
and that's the nature of the beast. I get it. You're naive if you think it isn't. But I think whether you're a recruiter in that organisation that's wanting to be more consistent, or you've transitioned into company ownership, small, medium, or even large, right? You've got to look at, clients are the hardest thing to win. Right? A lot of people think about deals are the hardest thing to do. You could debate that point, right? But clients are really hard to win because you can't do deals if you've not got clients.
Yeah.
And so it's funny how the industry achieves a client, which is the hardest thing to do, but actually doesn't focus on keeping them. It's and I've been there, done that, and no doubt you too.
It's just the way that performance is measured is fundamentally flawed in that aspect, isn't it? Because it's not flawed because it's been in place for so long. It obviously works and it does work for certain reasons because companies have to be profitable, don't they?
Yeah.
So they're driving sales, they're driving revenue.
Yeah.
But consultants just become a product of that environment where they are forced to move on to the next client or the next deal. To your point, you've done the fucking hard work.
Yeah.
You've got a client to agree to hire one of your candidates. You've agreed commercial terms, or maybe you haven't. Maybe you just lobbed a grenade in on the way out and gone, oh, by the way, it's 35%. See ya. Sure, that still goes on.
Oh, definitely still goes on.
But you have done the hard part. So why would you not? And obviously, because of the infrastructure that they are involved in and how it's set up. But surely that is a perfect opportunity to nurture that client and maximise your relationship and the value that you can bring and what you can extract from it. Why don't recruiters do that? We've touched on one of them because of the way that sales structures and commission structures are set up. They don't know how to do it.
Yeah, I mean, you just talk about like they don't know what to say to the clients, right? One thing that comes to mind, and we never script our episodes as some of the listeners probably know from some of the bloopers, right? But one thing that's just come to mind is when I make a placement, I schedule a 3, 6, and 12-month call with the hiring manager based on the candidate's start date. Something I've done for probably 10 years.
With the manager on a call or in a meeting, you do it there.
Yeah. Now it's Teams or it's face-to-face, but it's all, in the past it used to be a call or whatever. Now, this is quite a provocative question, but I want it to be thought-provoking for listeners. How many of you that are recruiters or managers, right, managing your team, how many of you look about candidate and placement care beyond your rebate period, contractual rebate period?
Yeah.
Now, I bet that percentage is really low. Yeah. So if you place candidate A and you've got a 12-week rebate, I guarantee manager or recruiter is touching base with them every 4 weeks as a candidate.
Yeah.
Okay. They're probably not touching base with the client.
Yeah.
And if they do, it'll be at the end of the 12 weeks to say, everything all right? Done.
How's little Jimmy getting on?
Yeah, how's he getting on? Oh, yes, right. Yeah. Done. Yeah. Right. So if you want to take your client relationships to another level, you've got to provide them value and be part of their business ecosystem, their business context. So when anyone gets a job, they're going to have a 3, 6, and 12-month target, really, of what good looks like.
Yeah.
Now, even though contractually and fee-wise you're not on the hook, try and make yourself part of that journey. Because that's how for every placement then, you're baking yourself into that client's thinking for at least 12 months relative to the candidate you've just placed. Something I always do. And I just arrange, and I tell my client that's going to happen.
Yeah.
So I've got one coming up next week with a CEO. I placed a director of projects with him last year. He's coming up to his 6-month hurdle. Now, I know through staying in touch on WhatsApp that the candidate's loving it. And I know through speaking to the HR manager, because I've spoken to her about other things, that the candidate's doing really well.
Yeah.
But a CEO, I don't stay in touch with him just for general chit-chat about how this person's getting on.
Yeah.
And if I hadn't got that call booked in to talk about that individual, right now, I wouldn't have anything to speak to that CEO about, really.
Yeah.
And if I'd called him, and I really want to speak to him.
Do you find that they don't cancel those meetings?
No.
Or never?
No. Because I make it about them. It's not about me.
Yeah, because you're not trying to sell them anything.
I'm not trying to sell them anything.
So they're prioritising that meeting themselves as well.
Because it's about them, and it keeps me as a, I'm not sticking my beak into their matters, because by month 6, that relationship there is forged, right? And contractually, I'm outside that circle, but it's keeping me as a conduit between them if there are.
And they know that they're going to get constructive feedback on how your candidate's getting on.
Exactly. And do you know what as well? Well, they naturally get on to where the candidate's adding some value, what they're doing and how they're getting on. I then get to ask questions about their business because my placement is now adding value. It's progressed their organisation, and I'm deepening my understanding. And actually, between the 2 of us, or 3 of us sometimes if there's another stakeholder on the call, what you're doing is you're baking yourself into their world. Like you're just a part of that now. You're not actually speaking to them about a commercial transaction. That's gone.
Yeah.
This is now where you're demonstrating that you're interested in them irrespective of a transaction. And that's really,
but
really
invariably
important.
Through that experience, if that's a good experience for them and they are hiring, you don't even have to ask them. They'll bring it up in one of those meetings, won't they?
Yeah. I have also, contrary to that, I've had the odd meeting where it's not been going perfectly, and they raise that there's a bit of work that needs to be done.
Yeah.
And have I actually spoken to the individual about that? What's their take? So, and that's, if I remember that example, that was about 5-6 months in.
Yeah.
Okay. So no one's sort of saying, you need to do this, else we want your feedback, or can you go and do
that? You're capturing it early because you've got that touch point.
Yeah.
They're sharing it with you before it reaches a point where it's a fundamental problem.
Yeah. And you're then putting yourself in a position where actually it's all business development.
Yeah.
And this is a gripe I have with the recruitment industry. It's because you're not actually selling something in that call, or because you're not actually being given something tangible necessarily in that call, then it's not classed as business development.
Yeah.
But it is. It's business development, really, honestly, in its purest form. It's relationship based. It's value based.
So you could be a recruiter that, we joked about it earlier, and we certainly joked about it off camera. Yeah. We were trained to the point of doing a deal, and then if your boss said, give that client a call. Afterward, you go, I don't know what to talk about.
Yeah.
If you're still in that world, you don't even have to declare this to your boss. It's not a KPI, is it? But if this is one of the simplest things that you could do, then, right? At the point you do your next placement with that hiring manager, get the diaries in front of you and just agree a block booking of 3, 6,
Don't
9,
ask
12.
as well. Don't ask.
Yeah, just assume. Have you got your diary in front of you?
This is my process, Mr. or Mrs. Client. This is my process. You will hear off me, regardless of whether we have any other dealings, at month 3, at month 6, and at month 12. I will speak to the candidate at month 1, month 2, month 3, 6, and 12.
Yeah.
Right? But you will have interactions with me at 3, 6, and 12 months. We will talk about how things are going. And I want you to know that I'm on hand as part of this process. And by that point, you might not need me involved, and it's completely at your discretion, but that's my aftercare process.
So this is ticking a lot of boxes here then, right? So this is ticking a lot of boxes. And when we looked at the content of this pod, what holds somebody back from ringing a client after they've made the placement when there's no job there? How do you add value? What's your reason for calling? That's it straight away, isn't it? How do I, can I just ring them out the blue and start striking up a conversation? It ticks all of those boxes because you've put the process in place. The value there is that you're going to give them constant feedback on how your candidate's getting on from their perspective. That's your value. The touch point is already there because you've already prearranged it. And that's your reason for calling, isn't it? So that gets rid of a lot of the objections.
And it does provide the client value. It does.
Yeah, of course.
But if I distill this right down, it's the easiest BD meeting you will have. It's the easiest BD meeting because most of the time you're going to place good people into good companies that get on. So your message 3 times in that first 12 months is normally telling the line manager how great they are.
And who doesn't like that?
And you can add little pithy bits in there of constructive, what have you, but on the main, it will be positive. Why, as a recruiter, would you not want to have another 3 positive conversations with your client pre-booked? Yeah. So right now, I sit here now knowing that of the deals I did last year, I've got X amount of positive conversations pre-arranged with my network. It's an endless thing. So when we start talking about, why does that top biller over there be a top biller, or why does that biller over there not peak and trough as much, right? It's these little behaviours around how they retain clients because they're working a network, they're operating a network, they're keeping an ecosystem living and breathing in a way that, that recruiter over there who's just looked at the 12-week rebate and gone, keep everybody happy until I get my commission. Right?
Yeah. Different mindset.
I'm blowing them out of the water when it comes to my client. Because the only conversation they're having with that client post 3 months are about selling them something new.
I like it. A lot of our listeners might want to know at the end of each of these meetings, do you ask them your last question? By the way, have you got any jobs?
I put that like I do on the bottom of my LinkedIn post as well. Add loads of value and then just put, by the way, you got any jobs, mate? No, but jokes aside, absolutely not. And do you know
You don't need to justify that. Of course you don't.
But jokes aside, there's a really honest point in there. I don't have to.
Yeah, because if they've got them, they'll give them to you.
Yeah, you've just taken your relationship with them in changing one aspect of how you work to a level that nobody else is. Yeah. I can guarantee. And
that'd kill the meeting anyway, wouldn't it? It's like LinkedIn posts that, I've got a bit of a gripe about where somebody will add like real value. It is something that's happening in the market.
Oh, and if you want to speak to anybody, just reach out.
By the way, if you've got any jobs that need filling, you're like, you've literally just killed that post.
If you're, or by the way, if you're a full stack developer looking for your next blah blah blah, do you get what I mean?
So anyway,
just vomited all over that.
So if you want to line that process up post placement, we have got to rewind a little bit here, because we do know that the way that recruiters are managed and the way that their performance is managed and the pressure they're under to do deals, that can often result in the experience for the client not being great up until the point of that deal being done. The consultant internally is high-fiving their manager because they've just done a 35% fee and got a 20-30K placement or something. They're happy that they've got the deal, but the client experience and the candidate journey might have been really poor. So I think that you're only going to be able to set that process up realistically, aren't you? If the client, what do you think? Or do you disagree with that? Because they might just want to sever ties with you at that point.
Well, we're talking about, the whole episode's about client retention. So we're just going to make the assumption we've done a deal.
Yeah.
Right. Most people where you've done a deal, right, are happy that the deal is done. Okay. Candidates are normally happy they've got a new job. Clients are normally happy they've got the job filled. And you'll be on a sliding scale of really standoffish client who actually is quite transactional themselves, all the way through to a client who's really partner-led and wants you part of their business, right? The transactional client, right, and I'll take, in our market, in our business, like it's terrible, what have you, but we've got, I won't name them, we've got certain disciplines we recruit for, okay, that attract that type of person more often than not.
Yeah.
So our most transactional clients, well, you just link it to what they're interested in. We've done a transaction and I want to make sure that transaction's been a success. Don't make it warm and fuzzy. Make it as, so to tell them you're going to have another 3 transactions as part of the original transaction, that's why I say I don't ask for it. This is our process. And I honestly, I have had some.
So it's a pretty flawed process from where you're sitting in, if you set it up properly.
I've had, I think I've had 2 or 3 people say to me, or be difficult, either say they don't want to do it or be challenging around agreeing it.
Yeah.
Okay. Whereas, however many placements I'm making a year, I've got those meetings times 3 for every one of them. Like it works, and it once again as well. You'll hear me reference this. Makes me feel good as well. But a lot of being in recruitment is about how do I make my job as easy and as enjoyable as it can be against the backdrop of it being a really fucking hard job with lots of shit.
Yeah.
Right. So these are 3 meetings a year where, as much as I just know they're going to be positive, because I'm predominantly going to be telling a line manager that somebody thinks they're great.
Yeah.
Right. And they're going to thank me for placing a great person in the first place.
Yeah.
Right. And then off the back of that, we're going to talk about their business. We're going to talk about, we're going to talk about what's coming up, what's the strategy, the growth that this person's enabled is leading to X.
Yeah.
Right. Brilliant. And also I get to know, what are you doing this weekend? Where are you going? Oh, you've got 2 kids. Yeah, I've got 3, And you'll have heard, I mentioned this on another pod, right, is when I asked the recruiter, how much do your clients and candidates know about you and how much do you know about them, right? Not their job. That's where you get to with the client. And by having these regular touch points where the only agenda of that item, that 15 to 30 minutes that is in their diary, the only agenda of it is to talk about something that isn't selling them something. It's amazing how much you end up selling them. And it's really difficult for me to make that more tangible than I can in this conversation. All I can say is, if you're a recruiter not doing it, or you're a manager not asking that of your team, do it and take a 12-month snapshot of it, and then start to look at the value that you're getting out of these meetings. Because I promise you, your client retention will go up. You will probably pull a job or a lead in most of those conversations.
Yeah.
And or at the very least, which comes back to this core thought I have of not delineating between clients and candidates, treating everybody the same. At the very least, I'll get a referral out of that meeting with a client. Because what I'll have is, I'll have my agenda to talk to them about, I'm a candidate. My candidate likes this, and this, and says you're great. I'll then ask them about their business, and then my ace up the sleeve is, these are my current assignments, right? Now, these current assignments do give me two things to tell that client. Firstly, do you know anyone? I might get a referral. Secondly, I'm a really active recruiter in your market, and these are the jobs I'm getting off all your other competitors. So we've now got to the end of this meeting. We've talked about the candidate and how great they're doing for you.
Yeah.
We've talked about the middle bit, which is about your business. You've got no more work for me.
Yeah.
So now I'm pulling out my trump card, which is, right, who in your network's good for this? Oh, and by the way, subliminally, I'm really busy.
So I'm smiling because that's great, by the way. But we've actually flipped this from, have you got any jobs, mate? Have you got any candidates, mate?
But what I'm trying to get at is client retention, right, is about having multiple touch points that aren't just sales meetings. But I'm trying to also give the recruiters who are transactional, the recruitment managers that are managing a team on, I'm trying to let you know that there is still very tangible value you'll get out of these meetings. They're not just soft, fluffy meetings where I'm turning up just for a cuddle. Right?
Got it.
So, yeah, there you go.
I like it. Valuable, that.
So you know,
good, though.
I feel like I've sort of talked a lot there on that subject. What does client retention mean to you? You know, you and I work very different markets, different countries predominantly as well, different culture.
Yeah.
What's that look like to you?
Kind of close to your point, what you said. We've done an episode about this. I think it was networking, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You touched on it a minute ago about how well do you know your clients and candidates. I'll just make a real effort to get to know them. Right. So touch points after that are easy.
Yeah.
Because you find out stuff about their life, their interests, what keeps them awake at night.
Yeah.
Because I'm working with startups, a lot of them will be in funding rounds.
Okay.
So I can learn about that and that journey.
Yeah.
So my touch points, I'll normally like set up WhatsApp conversations with most of my customers, clients, and candidates.
Yeah. So you try and take it to a slightly more informal place.
Take it to an informal place, where I've just got regular touch points.
Yeah.
A great bit of advice I've got, and I can't recommend this enough. I don't know if you do this. This might be a good one for you. If you don't already follow their company on LinkedIn, or them, you're probably following them because you're probably connected to them.
Yeah. But
you follow or connect with the other leaders in that business, so that any of their content comes onto your feed. Start commenting on it.
Okay.
You can do that to win business. I do it to win business, a client that I want to work with.
Yeah.
Because it's just a bit different to sending them a DM.
Okay.
Or sending them a mail shot.
Yeah.
People post stuff that means something to them. It could be a personal post. It could be a professional post about something. They're only got to repost it, or it could be something they've commented on. It's not even their post. Yeah. Engage in it. And I don't mean love this or great post. Actually put your opinion on something. Okay. That keeps you connected with your clients.
Yeah.
And it's really valuable because you're offering them an opinion on something that's important to them.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, I'll maybe give them some news on what's happening in the funding world.
Yeah. I noticed you do that quite
investors.
A lot. So you do
I'll do it publicly. I'll do it publicly, roundups, but I'll do it individually as well.
Like
I'll just send them, you're talking about adding value.
Yeah.
I've got a lot to take from this pod because I don't do that with my clients. I don't set a process up where I have diarised touch points, and I'm sitting here thinking I should do that. But because more informal for me. But I
don't send market intelligence like you do in such a structured way, and I think I think that's really good.
But it's not structured though. It'll happen because I know them quite well.
Yeah.
If I put something on LinkedIn like a post, or I see a bit of news and I think it's relevant to one of my clients, I'll forward it to them. I'll just give you my opinion on it.
Okay.
Like if it's like a conference, there's like some conferences that are really important for fundraising in my market. Not everybody knows about them, but they're so valuable. I'll ping it to my clients and go, "Is this on your radar?"
Yeah, and I think if we demarket that for a minute, what you're talking about is that value provision, and there's a constant theme here. I've got some
not asking for anything in return.
Exactly.
You're offering value. You're giving feedback. You give, and when they're ready to give something back, you don't have to ask for it. That's the point, isn't it? People want to buy; they don't want to be sold to, right?
Yeah.
So they think, all right, Greg, I'm loving this experience. Right, I've got this job coming up. Let's talk to him about it.
Yeah.
You haven't had to ask for it.
Yeah. It's like the whole, you plant the seeds in the spring, so they look after you through the winter kind of thing. And it's funny because moving to that way of working now seems so obvious to me, being where I'm not managed and whatnot. But I think it can be quite challenging. Like there'll be people listening.
If you're under pressure and you've got KPIs to
really
and all
hard.
that's like a luxury, isn't it? You've got to, without being instructed by your manager, you've just got to decide whether you want to do that or not. Yeah. They're probably not going to be interested in reporting on it, because they'll be going, how many jobs you added today, how many CVs you sent out.
And also like you can use some of these strategies and still hit your KPIs.
Yeah, you can.
So like for instance, back in the day, you'd have said to me,
well, you're hitting your meetings there straight away.
That's what I'm saying. You'd have said to me, go and get meetings with them, right? And actually, you're wanting me to have a meeting because you want jobs, you want CV send out interviews, and you ultimately want deals, right?
Yeah.
And you want that short term.
Yeah.
But actually, as a consultant, I'm hitting the main KPI by booking those meetings. But how I go and manifest in that meeting is the bit where I think we're trying to add a bit of value to them now. There's recruiters that book a meeting purely because they want work.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, I'm not some sort of pussycat rolling around the market that doesn't need work.
Yeah, but you're looking at the bigger picture.
I'm looking at the bigger picture, and I'm trying.
You're looking over the horizon.
Yeah, exactly.
When you're not expecting it, and that client comes to you and just says, "Greg, got something for
exactly."
you."
And because of how I operate, and it's so genuine. That's why the phone will ring at some point.
Yeah.
With jobs I
It'll
don't
either
know
be
about.
them, or they've referred you to somebody.
And it does.
It does. It happens.
And actually that's a common theme with all the successful business owners, all the successful billers, consistent billers you speak to. The phone rings, an email lands. Well, that doesn't happen by luck. It doesn't happen because they're in a hot market.
Because you've given.
Correct. They've got retention methods, whether they realise it or not, deliberate or not. They've got retention methods that are operating in their market. And as I say, for me, things that work are my placement follow-ups, right? Yeah. It's a real thing. It's just a thing I do. And the other thing I do is, and I've said it in this pod, I do not delineate between clients and candidates. I treat everybody like you are in. You're in my network, right? And that over time, and it did take time to develop, but over time, that's what tends to keep me warm in a cold winter, right? That's how I farm work. For others, it'll be different things. But I think the common thread that you and I share is that we, in our own way, are providing value.
Yeah.
Whether that be market insights, whether that be placement-specific insights. We're providing value that doesn't have a price tag or an ask attached to it.
Yeah.
Okay. That over time deepens your relationship. It importantly deepens their relationship with you.
Yeah.
And puts you as that partner of choice. And ultimately, I mean, we've had another guest on one of our pods talk about you get a client and you dominate that client, right? Yeah. Well, how do you do that? Dominate seems a very aggressive term, but actually what that means is you take out of the client's mind any idea of going to somebody else. You are the first person they think about.
Yeah.
You only get there, and this is very subjective because it's my own lens, but you only get there when you're their sort of partner of choice, and they trust you, and they know you, and to get to that point doesn't happen overnight, but it certainly doesn't happen by operating inconsistently. It happens by operating consistently. by looking to add value, by demonstrating that you are a safe, consistent, long-term partner to their market. And I think, whether it's things I've done, whether it's things you do, we're doing that in our own way.
Good stuff, mate.
Yes.
I think there's some value there.
Yeah,
I think we need to wrap up, don't we? But I'd like to finish on this. You touched on it earlier. Offering value to your network, whether it's a client retention situation that we're talking about, whether it's taking a candidate on a journey, or just feeding your network with value and asking for nothing in return. It's actually enjoyable, isn't it? It gives you a good sense of well-being, doesn't it? That you're actually doing something good. It gives you a sense
of place as well.
Yeah.
Right, because...
And what goes around comes around, so something will come off the back of it.
Yeah, and we're a service provider that is often seen as, or even actively called the necessary evil, right?
Necessary parasites. Do you remember that one?
I mean, that's a bit, really particularly harsh. But that's how sometimes we are perceived, and it's often how we can feel. So to stay in this game over a period of time and be, take reward from it and enjoy it, you have to be putting yourself in a position where you feel, even if you're not at times materially, but feel you're part of their world. So providing that value, being on sort of transmit and not looking for return is genuinely the best way to do that. And over time, as I say, when you do that consistently, it's like anything. You do it consistently, you will get results from it. And I think that when we talk about client retention, I know today there's other things you can go and do, right, that we haven't got into, and it's a really big subject.
Yeah.
But it's clear that both of us have a very value first approach to retaining clients. This is what we can provide you. We're here for you. We know you. We want to understand you. Have you seen this news? Do you know about these changes in the market? Yeah. We've spoke to you. We're just checking in about this candidate we placed way back when, and you're no longer on the hook commercially with. It's all those things that ultimately make you somebody that is someone they want to do business with, and that first point of call. Yeah. And that's how, in my opinion, recruiters build long-term relationships that, as I say, keep them warm in the winter.
Awesome. Right, let's end the pod. Yeah. Oh, don't forget to ask at the end, have you got any jobs? Have you got any candidates?
Yeah. Absolutely, guys.
Leave that golden nugget.
Just at the end. Yeah. Add your value and then just totally wash it down the plug hole by asking them if they've got any jobs.
That's the one. So, hey, look, whoever's listening, hopefully there's a little bit of value there. Yeah. I've got no idea how many people are watching this pod, but we would love to hear some other opinions on client retention. Absolutely. If anybody wants to put some comments in. I reckon we've made it if we get a comment off the back of that. And what's your best client retention
we get over 10 comments,
technique?
I'll bring a change of clothes to the next one.
10? One. Shake on it. One comment, you bring a change of clothes.
Like stars in their eyes.
And I'll bareback it.
Yeah, tonight, Matthew. We'll leave it there.
Thanks for listening to the Recruitment Founders Podcast. Make sure you subscribe on your favourite podcast platform or YouTube so you never miss an episode. Connect with us on LinkedIn to join our community of founders and mentors, or visit our website to learn more about how we can help you launch, grow, and thrive in your recruitment business.